Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. If you're at that point in your love life where you're really confused, you're frustrated, you don't know exactly what's going on, you can't understand why you're single, and neither can anybody else around you, well, I want you to pay close attention because I got a video just for you. I recently received an email from one of the members of our GPS for Love community, and it says, Joe, I'm almost 40, never been married, and single for over a year now. I have dated many guys, and nothing much comes of it. I realize it has something to do with me or what I'm doing because it can't be everyone else. I just don't know what it is. I feel confused, frustrated, and lost. Diana. Well, first of all, Diana, and everybody else who's watching this who can relate to Diana, I want you to understand that you're in a great position. You're starting to become aware that there's something going on. There's reasons why you struggle. See, I don't believe that there's this universal force that says, I'm going to pick Betty, and Betty, you can have love, but Diana, you can't, you have to struggle. There's always reasons. And what I found is that there's actually three reasons. And so, Diana and everybody else, I want you to pay close attention. The first, and this is usually the simplest, is that there's no strategy. You know, it's like if you want to create anything in life, you need a strategy. And what I find is when it comes to love, many members of our community, when I talk to them, I say, what's your strategy? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, what do you want? How are you going to find it? Well, I don't know. Well, what are you looking for? Well, I want a nice guy who treats me well, who's got a good job that I'm attracted to. And it makes me laugh because nobody says, I want an ugly scumbag who's unemployed, who treats me like crap. Obviously you want a good guy if you're going to spend the rest, but what is it that you really need? How are you going to recognize the good guy when he comes along versus the guy who might be a nice guy but isn't the right guy? You need some kind of plan. You need some kind of strategy. It's why I created the checklist for love. If you're not familiar with it, you might want to go to the site and check it out. It's a strategy which helps you recognize and identify quickly so that you don't waste your time and your energy falling in love with guys who will never give you the kind of relationship that you're really looking for. So that's step number one, is strategy. The second one, and this is very common as well, is that there's some kind of story. Now, what do I mean by that? There's some kind of unconscious belief that love is difficult, that all men are jerks, that men can't be trusted, that you're going to get hurt again. There's something going on an unconscious level that you're not even aware of. And so I always find, I get the question, well, how do I recognize? Well, it's real easy. So in a situation like this, I would have Diana look at the pattern in her love life. Is there specific guys that she's attracted to? Does she attract certain guys and then she tends to run? Does she put up walls? Does she believe she's got to try really hard to make a guy fall in love with her? Because maybe there's part of her that believes she's not good enough or she doesn't deserve love. Whatever it may be, there's some kind of story. And so you have to recognize and identify the story. Because what you have to understand is there's two types of story. There's a disempowering story, which is a story that doesn't work for you. It actually disempowers you, and it makes it harder to create the results you want. And then there's an empowering story. That's one that makes you feel good. It gives you the power to help you go out and go create and find the relationship that you're really looking for. So that's the second one. And the third, which kind of piggybacks on what Diana was talking about when she says, it has to do something with me. I just don't know what I'm doing. And what I always say, it's not what you're doing, but it's who you're being. What I found is that within everyone, and especially if we're talking about women here, there's a wounded child, and then there's a warrior princess. The warrior princess is the woman who knows she's awesome. She knows she has a lot to offer. And she's not going to settle, not because she's picky, because she's smart. She understands that if she's going to spend the rest of her life with a special guy and have a great relationship, she needs to pick the right guy for the right reason. And so she lives from that place. All her choices, all her decisions, all her actions emanate from that state of being. But what I usually find, and which is so common with many of the members of our GPS for Love community, is that they operate from the wounded child state of being. So what I mean by that? So when we're wounded emotionally, and a lot of this goes back earlier in life, if we've had our hearts broken, if dad wasn't emotionally available, we didn't have parents who set up healthy models of what a good, healthy relationship is that very often we live from this wounded child. And it literally is that. It's like there's this little girl in you that is wounded emotionally. And she doesn't feel she's worthy of love. She doesn't feel she deserves love. She doesn't feel that men can be trusted. She's afraid of getting hurt. Maybe she's been physically or emotionally violent, whatever it may be. Again, all of this is simply designed to shine light on what can and will go wrong. So what I want you to do today is to take some mirror time, is really look at these three things. Look and see, do you have a strategy? Is there a story that you could be running which is working against you? And you know it. All you got to do is simply sit back and observe. And lastly, are you operating from a disempowering state of being? Are you operating from a wounded child, or excuse me, are you operating from a princess warrior? So after you take that mirror time, I want you to go ahead and post below, because these exercises and what we're going to do here at GPS for Love this year is really help you go deeper, get to the root cause, because those members who are attracted to GPS for Love are those women who are at that point in their life where they're like, you know what, I want a great relationship. I'm tired of the mediocre toilet bowl relationships. I want that great relationship that really fills my heart up. Now, if you're a person, you're just looking for a guy and you'll take any jerk who comes along, then I can tell you GPS for Love is not for you. I've designed it specifically for those women who are ready, who are willing, who are able to go out and create a great relationship. They just need a little guidance, and that's why it's called GPS for Love. So go ahead, take some mirror time, look and see which one or which ones of these three modalities are actually impacting you and causing you to struggle in your love life. And then when you do that, go ahead, put it in a comment below, and we'll start a great dialogue. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. We'll see you next time. Much love.